What's up guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to add your own recipe into MyFitnessPal, as well as how to import a recipe from the internet into MyFitnessPal. But before we begin, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, my name is Ryan Treadaway, founder of TreadawayTraining.com, where we help busy professionals get more results in less time through online training. Now, if you want more information on body transforming training and nutrition topics, consider subscribing. The first thing I'll show you is how to import your own recipe. So what you'll want to do is, once you are in MyFitnessPal, you will go over to the menu button, then you will see recipes, meals, and foods. So tap that, and then once you go to create a recipe, you'll see that you can add from the web or you can enter ingredients manually. So again, the first thing that we're going to go over is how to enter your own recipe. So we will do enter ingredients manually. And then from there, you'll want to give your recipe a name. So this example recipe, we'll just do steak and eggs scramble. And what you'll want to do is you'll always want to set your serving size to 1 to start with. And we'll come back to that, why that is here in a minute. So then you'll hit check mark and then you'll hit next. So now we'll want to add the ingredients to our recipe. So the first thing that we're going to do, large egg. Let's go to this entry. That's correct. So we'll say that we're going to do 4 whole eggs. So 4 eggs, check. Then we'll hit add, and then we will go add egg whites, search. Let's see here. That one looks close enough. So we will do 6 egg whites, check. Now we will add our steak. So the first one here, we will hit check mark. All right, and now we'll say we're gonna add some bell pepper. So normally what you would wanna do with this is you would want to weigh out your bell pepper. So you would wanna select this first one. Say the serving size is 1 gram, so you would want to weigh out the bell pepper and put the number of servings as the number of grams that your bell pepper is. But since this is just an example and I don't have a bell pepper with me that I can measure, I'm gonna go to this one right here where it says 1 medium raw, and I'm just gonna use that as a placeholder. So check that off, and then once you're satisfied with your ingredients, you'll just hit next. So once we get to this overview screen, this is where we will do the number of servings. And what we will do to be the most accurate as we can be is we will take a plate or a bowl or whatever that we're gonna be dumping this food into, put it on the food scale and zero that out, and then you'll dump the entire recipe into that plate or that bowl, and that way you'll get the total weight of the entire recipe. And so what we'll do then is we'll make the number of servings equal to the number of grams that our recipe made. So for example, with this scramble, we dump it all in the plate. Let's say that it made 600 grams total. So we would say that it was 600 servings. And then when we go to save that, let's say we're going to add this to our food log now. So we're gonna hit add to diary. So now it's very easy and very accurate. All you have to do is scoop out exactly how much you want. And let's say that we had 350 grams of that recipe. So 350 grams, check. And so now it's very accurate and very quick. So you see I did that very quickly. I added in, I said that I had 350 servings because our serving size was 1 gram. I had 350 grams. So I had 350 servings of that egg scramble. And then now all we have to do is hit check. So you can see once you get that recipe added in there, when you go to actually add it to your food diary, it is very accurate and very quick. So the next thing I'm gonna show you how to do is how to add a recipe from the internet. So what we'll do here is, you could do what we were doing a minute ago. You could go to the menu and then go to recipes and then do what we were doing a minute ago and just tap import from the internet. But I'm actually gonna show you another way that you can do that. So let's say that we're gonna add a meal. So let's hit add food. And now from this menu where you would normally just enter your individual foods, you can click recipes and then you can hit the plus button at the top, and then you can see we have one for create a recipe. So create a recipe, and then it gives you this same menu as we had before. So you could go here to add your own recipe, or what we're going to do here is we're going to add from the web. So that'll bring you to this screen right here. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to open up the internet browser on my phone. So I already have a recipe brought up from the Treadaway Training website. So what we're going to do is we are going to copy the URL from the website that your recipe is on, and then go back over to MyFitnessPal, paste in that URL right here, and then make sure to hit the little arrow at the bottom, not import recipe. You don't hit import recipe quite yet. So hit that. Now that we are on this website, I'm gonna go ahead and copy this ingredient list, and I'll show you why I'm doing that here in a second. So copy that ingredient list. So now that we're on the website, this is when you hit import recipe. All right, so you'll see that it imported that ingredient list correctly. And the reason why I went ahead and copied that ingredient list manually is because sometimes when you import the ingredients from the URL, sometimes it will accidentally mistake the list from the directions and it will import that instead of the ingredient list, and sometimes it will accidentally import the nutrition list instead of the ingredient list. So that way, if you hit import and it does it incorrectly, you can just manually paste in all that information right here. So now that we have the ingredient list in here, what I want you to pay attention to is right here at the bottom, it says 2 or 3 cans of white shoe peg corn. Pay attention to that. I'm gonna bring that back up here in a second. So go ahead and hit next. And so what it will do is it will automatically try to match each of those ingredients. So you'll see that it found a match for all of them. So what we'll want to do here at this step is just to kind of scroll through and make sure that the ingredients that are listed here matches the ingredients that we are actually using. A minute ago I said to pay attention to where it says 2 or 3 cans of white shoe peg corn, and the reason why I said that is because MyFitnessPal interpreted 2 or 3 as 2.5. So what we'll want to do here is we'll want to correct that. So let's say we're going to do 2 cans. So just go ahead and erase that. So we're going to do 2 cans. We're going to check that off. Another thing you can do is if there is an ingredient that is incorrectly matched, you can go in there and replace that. So let's say we have our ranch dressing mix. If that were wrong, what we could do is we could go to replace ingredient and we could find another listing for it that's correct, or we could use the barcode scanner here and then we could just scan the barcode of the ingredient that we're actually using. So let's go ahead and scan that. And so now we would just want to make sure that the serving size is correct. We would do 1 container, save, check. That's good to go. And this is also when you could make your substitutions. So let's say on the list here we have pinto beans, but let's say you don't like pinto beans and you would prefer to replace that with kidney beans. You can do that here. So all we'll do is we will tap pinto beans, we will go to replace ingredient, and then we will scan the barcode right there, and then we will have 3.5 servings because that's how many servings are in this can of beans, and then we will hit save. So now check that off, and now we have replaced pinto beans with kidney beans. Now you could go through here and manually check each of your ingredients and make sure that they're correct, but for the sake of time we'll just go ahead and hit next. So now that we're on our overview page, you'll see that we have our servings as 1 again. So again, what we'll do here is we'll weigh the entire pot of soup before we scoop any of it out, and then however many grams the soup weighs total, we will use that as the number of servings. So the last time that we made this soup, I believe it was 3,600 grams is what it made. So we'll use that as our number of servings, and then we will hit save. So now you can go ahead and hit add to diary, and then I normally will have 450 grams when we have this soup. So let's check that off. Go ahead and hit check. Boom. So it might take a little bit of time to get the recipes in there initially, but once you have them in there, it's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of headache going forward because those recipes are always going to be there. So we could go to the menu, go back to the recipe section, and you can see the recipes that I've added in here are just right there. And then once you get to the point where you have a lot of recipes, maybe your list is very long, there's a nice little search function, so you could just type in the name of your recipe and then that way you can find it, bing, bang, boom. So let's say I come back a few weeks later, I wanna have this steak and egg scramble again. I tap on that, I can just hit add to diary, and say I had 350 grams, save, boom, just that fast. I mean, that's all there is to it. It's in there forever now. So another note that I want to point out here in regards to the number of servings, if it's a food item like a cake or you're making a homemade pizza or something like that, so it's something that you already know you're going to be cutting into an even number of pieces or an even number of slices, you don't necessarily have to go through the extra effort of weighing that out. As long as you're careful to make those serving sizes exactly the same, you can just say, hey, this has 8 servings, or this has 12 servings, or however many number of pieces that you cut that thing into, and then you could just do it that way. And one last big time-saving tip that I will give you here is if there is a meal that you eat often, even if it's not necessarily something that's hard to figure up, you can go ahead and add that as a recipe to save you time going forward. So what I mean by that is an example of something that me and my wife eat often is flatbread pizza. So it's very easy to measure because we did the flatbread, which is 1. We put however much pizza sauce on there, however much cheese on there, and how much pepperoni on there. And so I just have really 4 things to log, and it doesn't take that long, but I do the exact same servings of each every time, so it would save me a little bit of time if I went in there and just made that recipe. So what I could do is go in and create a new recipe for flat out flatbread pizza, and I could make the ingredient list 1 flatbread, 60 grams of pizza sauce, 56 grams of cheese, and then 18 pepperonis, and then I could save that as its own recipe, and then each time I have that in the future, all I have to do is go in there and select flatbread pizza and put the serving size of, I had 1 flatbread pizza or I had 2 flatbread pizzas or however many I had, and in that way that's only 1 thing that I have to keep up with rather than 4 things that I have to keep up with. So really the main thing is making it easier to track hard to track things like soups and multi-ingredient foods. But even if it's something that's not hard to track, you could simply use the recipe function to save you some times for your frequently eaten foods. Now, I've been tracking calories and macros for a long time, and I've also been coaching people on how to track calories and macros for a long time, and this is actually a feature that I didn't discover until not that long ago. So if you have a great MyFitnessPal time-saving tip that you want to share, then go ahead and drop that down in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. If you want more content just like this, consider subscribing, or you can check us out on the Treadaway Training Blogcast. We're there every Sunday at 3 p.m. That's treadawaytraining.com/blog. As always, God bless you and your family, and we'll see you tomorrow. Nope.